This is Little Damascus, west of Cairo. In this new city on the outskirts of the Egyptian capital, Syrian businesses have flourished. Ahmed arrived with his family in 2017.
Most of the people living here are Syrians.
According to the authorities, Syrian investments represent hundreds of millions of dollars in recent years. In Damascus, Ahmed owns a small supermarket. Here, he manages a falafel restaurant. All the employees are Syrian and share the same story. They fled the war and were openly welcomed by Egyptians.
I left the country so I would not kill my brothers and my compatriots. We left because of the war. We came to Egypt in 2017 and they treated us very well. They welcomed us in the best way. They didn't make us feel like we were refugees. They made us feel like we were from the same country.
And the Egyptians can attest to it.
They're a very important part of our country. And they make the best food, better than the Egyptians. Shawarma, I really love it.
Since December 8th and the fall of Bashar al-Assad, all they want is to return to the homeland they were forced to leave years ago.
Although I'm very attached to Syria, I came here because I was scared for my children. But now there's no more danger. Assad destroyed our homes and robbed our shops and left us with nothing. We've gone back 100 years because of the regime. We'll start from scratch. We'll go back and work to rebuild it.
At home, Ahmed and his sons watch Syria's new strongman, Ahmed al-Shara, on TV. The country faces enormous challenges, a collapsed government, extreme shortages and sanctions, but despite all this, the desire to return is strong. In these photos, he remembers the happy times in Syria. His sons are ready to rebuild the country.
Our country needs workers in all fields, in construction, trade, in retail. Even if you sell some clothes on the street, you'll still work because it's a country of opportunities now.
Egypt has recently tightened residency requirements for Syrians. Living has become a necessity. The excitement and will to return is coupled with feelings of uncertainty.
The residency of some of my kids has expired. They don't have visas, which means I'll have to pay fines when we travel. But, God willing, we'll be able to make it.
According to a survey published by the United Nations in 2024, 37% of Syrian refugees in the region want to return to their country as soon as conditions allow. A desire, which this researcher specializing in the Syrian diaspora in Egypt could not have anticipated. It shows how much the discourse has changed since the fall of Bashar al-Assad.
Following December 8th, there has been a transformation in the perception and imagination of Syrians who have already thought about new projects, business opportunities, how to use their new skills, customs, and beliefs.
In her research, Maya Shihade highlights how Syrian women in Egypt have often become the breadwinners, leading to greater gender equality in Egypt. This is the case of Elham, who arrived in Egypt in 2013. Coming from the Syrian upper middle class, her husband lost everything. As a dollmaker, she gained her independence, thread by thread, and her family relies on her salary to survive. Today, she helps other refugees like her rebuild their lives.
Some women didn't even know how to sew. That's why we support each other. I'm here abroad. I don't have anyone from my family. I left all my friends. Being here has separated us. So we talk to one another about our problems and worries. We have things in common, like teaching our kids. We all share the same problems.
Nowadays, Elham feels at home in Egypt, where her daughters have married. At 14, She was married to her husband, whom she always depended on before arriving in Cairo. Now, she feels committed to helping other Syrian women gain their independence.
In Syria, there are many women and girls who have been deprived of education, many widows. I want to go back to teach them a profession. Even if my work here continues, I might go back and help them establish themselves and then return.
After years of exile, hundreds of thousands of Syrians are ready to return to a devastated country, a return filled with uncertainty and forever marked by their Egyptian experience.